There we go. And make it the recording started. So we're going to look at 133 and 134 today. And this one's really looking at the equation that we built yesterday. This guy here. And what each of these pieces mean and why the heck are so many more pieces. It looks so much worse. It's not, but it looks worse. So we're looking at why we have to do all those pieces, because that's what this class is. It's a lot about the why. We hadn't figured that part out yet. Okay, so why do we have to divide the term when we compound our interest monthly? So we're looking at this piece here. That's the question on part A, is why the heck, if they say we have a 5% interest rate, do I have to divide the dang thing? Instead of having it look like this. Go ahead, Amber.
Is this dividing the 5% by 12 months in a year?
Yeah, we're dividing it by the 12 months in a year because if I put 5% of my interest in every month, I would definitely not be getting 5% over the course of the year. I'm getting way more. So if the bank wants to be able to say that it's 5% per year, but they're going to calculate it monthly, which most banks do, calculate your interest monthly, we have to take that interest rate and divide it by however many times they're calculating it. So they're going to take a piece of the 5% each month. It averages out to about 5%. But that's what that's looking at. So part A, which I'm going to have to do this because I made a silly choice when designing my page. Since we want 5% per year, we're only doing 1/12 per month. We're doing 1/12 of it per month. So if we were doing it quarterly, we divide it by 4. If we were doing it daily, we divide it by 365. Okay, so it makes a difference on that. Where in this equation does it show us that we open the account with $500? Our starting amount. We've got it right here. It's showing us that we started with $500. So we could, even if we didn't know, if I didn't say that sentence of what did we start with, you could find it because that's our starting amount. Bless you. Or our principal. Or you can do Q naught. Part C we've already talked about really because that was in part A. They just like to ask you twice because they were being extra. The piece in our exponent, the 12t. Why do we have to have the 12t there? For how many years? Why do we have to have that 12 in there, though? Because there's 12 months in a year. I divided my interest by 12. I divided my interest because I'm doing it 12 times in each year. Which means if I just said the 0.05 over 12 and I just put a 1 up there, I'm only doing it one time. That would be 1 month. If I had to put a 2 up there, intending it to be 2 years, it's only doing it 2 times. It's really only doing 2 months. So because we cut the interest, I'm going to switch colors because I'm going to run out with that green. We have to raise it to the exponent more times. So we need to be really careful with our units in these. If we're looking at months or years, how we're compounding, those units are really, really important. Because what we're compounding and what we're raising to the exponent. So if it's 12 months per year, our t is in years. If we're compounding weekly, so we put our 52 weeks in a year. T is in years still. If we're compounding daily, 365 days in a year. Our T is in years. So if we're looking at pieces and I'm asking how much we're going to have in a certain number of months, in a certain number of weeks, we have to be really, really careful how we put the time in to make sure that we're matching our units, okay? So be super duper duper careful. Yeah, on my desk is fine. Thank you. Okay, so we're just kind of taking a peek at that equation super duper close. I want you to look at this. Monthly deposits, 134. Be careful with your units of time. We've got a bank account here. You're starting with $500 each month into this account. There's a 6% compounded monthly. Can we figure out how much money they're going to have in 1 month, in 2 months, in 6 months? Can we figure it out? These three 100% we can do. 18 is going to be a little bit harder. So I want you guys, and work with a partner, see if we can figure this out. What is going on? All right, so give this a shot. I want you to try this. Work with somebody. Work together. You're going to take some time and you're going to do this. All righty? So take a peek at it. Practice some stuff. Look at some stuff. So talk to a neighbor. Talk to a friend. Somebody. Yes, Just 1 month. Yeah, since you're calculating it monthly, and we're talking in months, that works. Okay? Yeah, very, very similar, but be careful with your units of time. And they're adding more money each month too. So it's a little bit different, but. Uh-huh.
So instead of doing 5 straight each, we put or would it just be?
So we're getting the interest on it, but then they're also gonna add $500 more cash in.
So adding
So adding another 500, yeah. Okay, so we might have to do this one manually for a little while to see if we see it. What's up?
I'll wait till wait.
Well, we're doing 1 month. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
It's actually good. Well, it was, I really did this in season. No, I wasn't. No, I wasn't.
Oh, you got it.
Because I'm thinking, I think I was gonna get under. So I ate like 3 meals a day, but I was eating like fast food and I was working out. So I just ate vegetables. But now, I don't get the food. So I can even went to
That was the least sneaky throw ever. Do not throw stuff.
You going to try to be sneaky?
Good, because it wasn't.
I didn't include Xbox. Okay.
you flying somewhere or you gonna say?
I'm just not really sure how to add an exponent besides like this.
It's not true.
All right, so this one's kind of a tricksy one. So let's figure out what our balance was at 1 month. So they put $500 in. They have their 6%, which was being compounded monthly, not 6% per month, but 6% per year, compounded monthly. So our yearly account, our yearly balance, we would have our $500, right? 1 plus our 0.06 over 12 to the 12t. That's if we were just putting $500 in and not touching it. So for 1 month, how much would we have? Not, this is years. Remember, that's years. So we'd have 500. How much would we get interest each month? Let's get this down simplified so we don't have to write that fraction a zillion times. Oh, my calculator's not up. Take a second to load. You go on the wrong screen. It probably went on the wrong screen. So let's simplify that parentheses just so we have it. Yeah, it's on the wrong screen. So let's do our 1 plus 0.06 over 12. That compound interest. So we've got our 0.005 per month. So we're gonna have 500, 1.005. And then if we did years, it's still 12T. Or we could do our 500 times 1.005 per month. So for the first month, how much money are we going to have? Let's see, 500 times our 1.005, and we're doing to the first month, So we'd have $502.50. I was like, there were a whole bunch of us, me included, who looked at this the first time and just put the 0.6, and since we're just doing months anyway, let's just put it in months and compound it once a year. But we're not doing 6% per month. We're doing 6% per year, compounding monthly. So if I'm looking at months, we got to be super duper careful. For month 2, they added another $500 to it. Yes,
So with the T was gonna be 1, right? Because it's only 1 month, right?
So if we wanted to do this here, if I put T equals 1, is this saying 1 month or is that saying 1 year?
1 month.
If it's got this 12 next to it, it's still in years. So how could I put, in terms of years, 1 month? What part of a year is it? 1 month is 1/12 of a year. So if you use straight up this equation, we got to put 1/12 here. So this one, that's why we're saying be super duper careful about units of time. Because honestly, I made that mistake several times too. Okay, so let's look at 2 months. They took this. And they added another $500 to it. They added that to it. And then once again, they got interest on this. They got this monthly rate. To the 1 month. So we have a different balance this month. It's not that they just put $500 in and let it sit there for 18 years. They're adding to it every month because they would like to retire, please. Thank you. So how much are they going to have at the second month? We're going to take our 502.50. We're adding $500 to it. So that's our balance before interest. Then we've got our 1,002.5. And we have our interest of 1.005 per month. I know it's a lot. 1,007.51. So at 2 months, simply by adding $500 this month, we now have $1,000 or $1,007 and what was it, 21 cents? 51 cents. So then on 3rd month, they're going to add another $500, and then we have to recalculate interest. And then they're going to add another $500, and we have to recalculate interest. So I want you to go do 6 months, now that we know kind of where we're headed with that. So go try that again. Get up to 6 months. And this is, the 18 years is honestly super obnoxious, so let's not look at 18 years right now. We're not going to look at 18 years right now. And then I will show you a way that we can estimate this. We'll get it close. The true calculations for this are obnoxious. Yes, dear. Uh-huh. Yes. Because we simplified this down to be our monthly. So once we do this, we figure out how many months that is. What is it per month? This is every month we get that. So when we did 1 month, we did this. Then we took our balance. We added $500 to it, and I get my interest for 1 more month. So I took my interest on this, which is my new balance. So then for 3 months, I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna add $500, and I gotta calculate my interest on another 2 months. Just, where's that, we're just doing 1 more month on it. This interest, so it's 1 more month. It would just be this guy. Just that guy, because we've already got him in the trust. So we're just doing the 1 more interest on it. For 3, that would be for 3 months. And then you're gonna do 4 months for the 5 months. Why would that be? Never mind.
Nigga ripped my whole shirt
So what is way?
Yes.
Can't you just
Yep, yes.
Can't you just substitute a 16 credit?
If I did that, would I be adding 500 in each time? Or is that just putting $500 in and letting it sit for 6 months? That's the problem with it. When I add more into it, it makes my calculations super gross. Okay, so that's what, all right, so we've got our trunk, and then we get our interest each month, right? So now I'm gonna take whatever this guy is. We're adding another trunk, right? That's another trunk. No, and it's worse. The recalculation. So I'm gonna do, this one, yeah, this one's not great. So, honestly, focus on this. We're gonna focus on this, okay? This is like challenge mode. Normal people. Challenge mode. Normal. Okay? This is also a normal thing. So I'm gonna actually catch the notes on this page. And, okay, and then that's homework, 4. Okay. That was yesterday.
Let's read about it.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I have a question.
Uh-huh.
When I put it in,
Uh-huh.
this was it.
Yes.
I have it in.
Could have been a rounding situation, because I was, like, the way it was set up originally was put in rounding. So, I will go in and make sure of that, because it looks like she said it. Okay, so probably just a rounding situation, which I have on and adjusted.
Okay.
Okay. Because it looks like.
Because I took it too slow, that's right. What's 96 years? I couldn't miss it, but what did I do? I don't know, what did I do with this?
How many times per year are we compounding?
What?
We are, compounded, no, compounded
That
monthly.
nigga Tyler, he was shitty.
How many times a year are we
You know Tyler
compounding?
shit, you see the video, he's so mad. I was
Monthly?
telling
Oh,
him,
cool.
nah,
Why
Tyler,
is it 96?
I love this
No,
shit.
I thought, I think I put that on the first one, my first one,
There you go.
and then I got something completely different.
So if it's compounding once a year, how many times a year are we compounding? One. Or once a year is 1. Okay,
Once a month is
once a month, because there's 12 months in a year. So this once a day, 365, you're good there.
Okay.
You got back on track.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure what happened in the end,
I definitely.
I think it's start playing chess.
but that should fix that. Okay, now they're set up perfectly, and it could be a
That's how, okay,
however.
so that's how I got it on my
Yeah, my
first.
baby give me one.
So I'm perfectly mixed, so that's probably just a problem with the rounding them, and then I can get that, I will get that adjusted.
Okay, because on the
Like
second,
peaches.
I was like,
So far, you
yeah,
peaches.
something's not right.
Sometimes it's, I make mistakes, so don't, if you think you did it right, send me a picture and say, hey, what's going on, what happened?
Okay.
Don't just automatically assume that I'm right.
That's not, okay.
Hush.
Look,
Oh,
this nigga, I'm not, you like, really dark type.
I make just as many mistakes as y'all do, if not more.
We know we're
Okay,
We're not too terrible.
so did we find out how much they're gonna have in 6 months? How much money they gonna have? A lot?
Tell us too fast.
What?
Yeah, I was young.
What's up? How much money are they gonna have in 6 months? What do you think? When I did it, I got, let's see, about a little over $3,000.
Yeah, me too.
Uh-huh. This is one of those things that's super annoying, and the calculations get super duper gross.
We can't just times it by 6, like with this number.
Yeah. So another way to do this that's a little less gross. And this gives you an estimate. It's not perfect, but it's estimate. If we're going to add the same amount each month, I am adding 500 every month, right? So if I have 1 month, I'm going to have 500. If I have 2 months, I have 1,000. If I have 6 months, I have $3,000, right? We can add on to that our interest that we're getting. This is only going to give us interest on part of it, but it's going to get us close to an estimate. This gives us our interest formula here. 1 plus, or actually we can do our thing. 1.005 times our number to the power of months. So using this guy that we figured out in months, this guy that was in months, this guy we took and made into months, right? We can plug these in. This is going to give us an estimate. It's not going to be perfect because I'm not getting my interest on these guys. But otherwise, it's going to try and pull up old school geometric series, which we haven't done since geometry, which were gross. So that's why we're not really going to do the 18 years. We're not going to have a ton of this come up. But this is why it makes a difference if we are putting the money in the bank account and letting it sit, or if we are adding more every month. So the stuff we did yesterday and the day before, we put the money in and then we walked away for 18 years. And we still tripled our money. This, we've tripled our money in 6 months because we keep adding more money to it. So if we use this and get it as close as we can, we're going to have our 500 times that 6 months. We're going to add our interest that we're getting, 1.05 to the 6th. So $3,670-ish. If you did our calculations each month, it'll probably be slightly more. Like if we worked our way up yesterday. Yes, ma'am. 100%. I did that wrong, and now that you said it out loud, I 100% recognize that. Insert 005, because I did 5% interest. There we go. 3,500. That's better. Thought that seemed a little high, but it wasn't too high, so I just kind of ran with it. Please, please, please call me out when I make a mistake, because it happens. Especially when I'm fighting a cold. 3,515-ish. It's still free money. I still got an extra $500 in there that I didn't deposit. Because I deposited $3,000. Should I have $3,515? So this is not entirely 100% accurate. It's close, though. It gets us close. So we can see what's going on. So if you want to see what's going to happen in 18 years, you're going to have to figure out how many months 18 years is. So these are pedantic and annoying. And honestly, unless you are going into financial analytics, you're not going to use it a whole bunch. Okay? If you're going to be an actuary or an accountant, those will show up. Okay? So, May the 4th be with you. Y'all have 2 minutes left. We have one more day of notes, and then we're into the project and finals. Okay? One more. And again, it's going to be pedantic and annoying, but it's what we do.